Right now, they're on a break.
I don't know.
I do know.
This is why we chose this date.
I wasn't happy that he was included in this group, and I was curious why. That's why I reached out to them. I tried to get a hold of you guys, but I could only find that email address, and so I just came instead. So I'm not trying to make you all angry, and I don't want to put you on, okay?
Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Will you take it?
Okay, guys, listen. Let me just make one point because I know tempers, get hot. My biggest issue with what happened right there is I've been a Democrat my entire life. I helped Democrats all over the United States. We did all of the phone calls, all of the text messages for Ossoff and Warnock in Georgia the year they won. Nobody can question my bona fides in terms of what I believe in and which party I support. The problem I have with what just happened is that somebody comes up, represents themselves as representative of the Democratic Party, and then just states something that's categorically untrue.
Yeah.
Whether it's an accident or not is beside the point. If you don't know the facts, don't stand up and speak. And that's the problem I have with that. There's no question in my mind that 90% of the time Wesley Bell would vote the right way on these issues that we're talking about today. But that just really fires me up to have somebody come up here and blame this organization for not communicating effectively when everybody in that office knows exactly what happened. So that's where the angst is coming.
And one thing I will explain to everybody, one of the people in our group did this for a living. She's worked in the legislature. On TikTok, she's called Beth, the legislative liaison, and she set it up. She knows all the exact protocols, and she followed them. And we offered to show them, we'll show them the emails and all the communication that we did have.
Let's do questions.
Yeah, I may have missed this at the beginning. I live in Ann Wagner's district. She also invited, and because,
Yeah.
I think honestly, I would land on her a long time before I'd be critical of Bell.
Agreed.
She's been through 4 terms and has never showed up. She won't answer questions. She won't answer emails seriously.
And we're happy to hold one again with. Happy to do
There's a
that.
group that's targeting her with town hall.
And I take a little bit of offense to the picking apart of Bell. That's not what we're doing. Okay, I feel like we're holding accountable our representatives, Democrat or Republican. So I really don't appreciate that comment. I'm just going to say that picking apart. We're not doing that. Democrat, liberal, Republican, orange, green, red, purple. I want you to do what we pay you to do. So that's what we're doing today. Okay.
Yeah, but the Republicans are the ones that are threatening to take our Social Security away. The Republicans are the ones that are threatening to take our Medicare and everything. That is the issue here.
Yeah, so we're not. That's why we're not again.
We're not picking them apart.
This is bipartisan, right? That's why we give everybody a chance to come. You are all constituents of them, right? Whether it's Wesley Bell or your constituent, we invited them to speak. That's all we're saying is that he declined.
Over a month ago.
And so everybody disagreed. This is not like Sarah said, this is not about left, right, center, any of that. This is about this constituents, who they work for, getting their voice heard.
Sir,
Saving the country.
Yes.
One of the biggest problems we are facing right now is the Democratic Party does not recognize the danger that we are in.
Right.
They are not doing anything to really step up and fight what is happening. We can do this, that's fine, but to say that we're picking apart Wesley Bell or whatever, no. They are not recognizing the problems that are happening. They are not addressing the disassembly of the federal government. And if we don't make them do that, then we are in serious trouble. Serious trouble.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to address that in a minute. But go ahead.
For what you just mentioned, Vietnam vet, Purple Heart, recipient. I worked for the VA at the end of my career, and we also have family that works for the VA. What's happening to the VA now is a sin. It really is. And they're getting so many conflicting demands upon the department And some of them, they just cannot do, so they have to delay things. And they've already cut the number of people that they have in the VA. And so, I mean, they're working with less people with extremely high stress situations. And so, you know, talking about cancer and all that kind of stuff, Agent Orange, prostate cancer, lung cancer, skin cancer, within the last 4 years. 4 years. Okay? And so, you know, I depend upon the VA for my health care.
Yes, sir.
Since I was a VA employee too.
Yes.
I was, you know, in the private sector, as, you know, some people say, you know, everything should be in the private sector. I received better care with the VA than I did in the private sector, and it's easier to get. That's not happening anymore.
I got to real quick say it. Thank you for your service. And
Thank you.
And I want to just a quick note. My grandfather would be rolling over in his grave. My grandfather, unalived in the Pacific, is buried at sea when a torpedo hit his boat. So it's important to me as well. I'm not a veteran, but I support veterans 100%. So I'm sorry that it's happened to you.
I do want to address
One
that
question, then
gentleman.
it's okay.
Does anyone know who was first?
Charlie wanted to ask you.
I want to address him.
Let's all be friends.
Sorry. First of all, I agree with you, and what I said in the beginning is, what are you going to do about it? Is that really fair? It's not. To address you, I want to say welcome in, and I agree with you 100%. I pointed at you because I do agree with you. But we do have some out there. Yes. Let's not forget, and the only ones that are fighting are Democrats. Yeah. Bernie Sanders. Yes. We have AOC. They're going out there to these people in districts that they don't even belong to. Sorry, Miss Wesley Bell, but it's going. You know, we want to see Wesley Bell be that person too. Yes. I'm in the 1st district. If you want to know the truth, I don't live out in St. Charles anymore, but I am in 1st district, and I'm going to tell you, I want to see him held accountable. Okay?
Next question.
Right here, we had her ripped open right here, and then we're going to go to that.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's fine.
I'd like us to not forget about some things that are going on here in Missouri.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is really bad. First of all, they've introduced a bill to negate abortion when we have had a huge petition drive. Everybody in the state, 75% people wanted this.
Wanted access to,
Now, not only have they done that, but there's a bill introduced to get rid of petitioning. Right. Now we don't get to petition for anything anymore. This is horrible.
They're trying to take it away.
And I'm going to go right here in a second, but I wanted to say to that, what your point too is this, our group, and I didn't get it clear enough in the beginning, this isn't about us doing one town hall here. We want to understand, your lens here in your community is different than my lens in Minnesota. Everybody has different issues, but we want to understand because then we are going to build programs and support the building up of the community and address these issues for you.
I'll also say Will is very knowledgeable on local policy. So if there's any specific policy questions you have, Will is welcome to answer those.
We're going to go here and then we'll go there. So
I'm a licensed clinical social worker, retired.
Thank you, ma'am.
50 years in the health system. I wrote viciously about Kennedy. Health and Senior Services, he didn't even know the difference between Medicare and Medicaid. And now he's telling people you can take vitamin A to get rid of measles. That's a healthcare issue.
Very dangerous.
You know, they should not have elected him. They should not have appointed him. You know, we've got to do something
the biggest
about him.
the biggest problem with that is that they get free health care. It doesn't affect them, so why can't they stand up for the constituents?
The one in the
They
back.
have the same thing they're telling us to take. That's right.
The spectred black shirt.
Oh,
The one in the
spectred
back.
in that
Yeah.
one.
And then you, ma'am.
Yep.
Okay.
And then, sorry.
I'm on a cane, I'm coming up. My name is Kate. That's Kate with a C. Okay, one thing I'm gonna say to all of us while we're in here, what happened in devolving down into that shouting match earlier, as long as we each take the time to speak, it's gonna help us all here.
Yes.
Second, I have several issues I'm not happy about right now, but I am boiling about, I was a special ed advocate for 25 years. I have a son who is an adult disabled son with autism and ADHD. And he is successfully living independently today because of advocacy in this state. When I did mediation, sorry teachers, I may have met some of you across the table as an advocate, but I'm going to tell you, the school districts, it's about money. And teachers who are good teachers who want to be there for those kids are told, don't speak up. Only one, the boss speaks up about it. And if we're not going to let them through to get the services and supports, so what? Let the parents figure it out. And I'm going to tell you that that money from the Department of Education now going under RFK, do you think he's going to care about that priority being there for that? There were many times when I did mediation with the district and the state and the parents. Poor parents who didn't have anything to deal with. They didn't even know what their rights were until we talked. And I'll be damned if they didn't say that, there were many times I'd say, okay, we're going to use their own information against them to build the case for why this student deserves an occupational therapist, deserves a speech language therapist, deserves a reading specialist, deserves a paraprofessional to get them through. Not just physically disabled, but kids like mine. Yes. And you know what? The Department of Education, people think all was being brought back to the states. That's a false narrative. It has always been with the states and the local districts. Your curriculum, your policies, those are not coming out of DC. And what does come out of DC is the Office of Civil Rights, which is put across all the country. Whenever we need to have a parent file a complaint, it went to Kansas City, and to that civil office, and they would come over and investigate. And sometimes it would go our way, sometimes it wouldn't. But when we needed help nationally, I would go to the Department of Education. Yeah. And the Secretary of Education had looked at cases that had come in from all over the country, and they would write a letter of guidance. 2 educators, 2 parents saying this is the precedent. And I can't tell you how many times I had to use those letters. Who's going to be doing that now? Who is going to be watching out for our kids in Missouri, and not just in the big cities, but rural districts or villages? I'm going to say one more thing. I have a sister who wants to retire in 2 years, and she's a single mom, and she is scared to death that she's got to live on that Social Security check that she paid into, and that it won't be here. And that is something, all of these issues that everyone's bringing up, we've all got special things in our hearts, but let's band together and be we the people.
Our community.
Whether you're Republican or Democrat, I don't care who you voted for. The time is right now in this moment to band together.
Yes, that's right.
My name's Carolee Owens. I'm a 32-year educator in St. Charles.
Thank you.
After that, I was a music minister, and I retired from that, and I thought, what can I do? So last year, I ran for the Francis House School Board, because we've seen how they're, in this state, doing their best to destroy public education. They want to privatize it so that their rich buddies can make a bigger profit. That's what they want to do. So I got all my educator friends back there that helped me with the election. and we ran because Francis Howe has been but the Republican Party got their candidates on the board there.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That's why I ran.
Yes. Good for you.
Anyway, this is serious business. We got vouchers in this state, school choice. What does that do? The private parochial schools don't play by the same rules we do.
That's right.
They don't take everybody that walks in the door.
Right.
So now we've got the federal government, they're gonna take even more away, so we have less and less and less, so that we privatize public education. And billionaires make more billions off of schools, and education won't be better. And this will destroy America.
Oh, yeah.
This will destroy America because they're taking freedom of thought away. There's no academic freedom. Look what they're doing to universities.
Right.
This is all, I mean, there is one problem here. The one problem is they're destroying democracy.
Yes.
They don't want us to think. They want us to do what they say. They want to keep us in our place.
Dictatorship.
And we can't let that happen.
Thank you, ma'am.
Wait, I know there are a lot of issues here that, I mean, we all have individual issues. We have to keep focused on this. It's not a Democrat and Republican thing here. This is an authoritarian dictatorship thing here. Everything he can with Elon Musk to, whatever he has a hold on all these other, because you know they have stuff. Whatever he has over all these other senators and Republicans, even Democrats, that voted to go along with extending this budget, okay? He has things on all of them. We have to focus on not letting that happen.
Thank you.
But we have to make sure they're gonna do what we vote them in there to do.
Right.
Yes. And then that comes down to all of these other little things. We have to stop the authoritarian dictatorship.
I just have a statement. I don't have an answer for any of this, but with them, to feed off of what you just said, with them dismantling our institutions, flooding the zone, every single issue, seniors, Medicaid, Medicare, education, everything, with us speaking out, with us voting, with us protesting. I've been to about 10 already with the last 10 months. Nationwide on April 5th. What is the end game here? Trump doesn't care about his approval. The congressmen, Democrats and Republicans don't care. What's the end game? What are we going to do? We need 3.5% of Americans out at one time to overtake this oligarchy, to overtake this regime. That's it. They're not listening to us. They don't care. They don't care. The judges. The judge gave them 4 different times this week. Well, that wasn't good enough. That wasn't. Can you please write your response back? They're breaking down every single where we have. They're dismantling. They're breaking this country down to the studs.
Yes.
We have to I don't know what the end game is here. Like what?
It's
Nothing.
oligarchy is what
So-
it is. It's authoritarian dictatorship.
The end game is like, we can't, no, they want you to be hopeless.
Yeah.
They want you to give up.
Yes.
That's why I'm standing up front, right? And everybody has a part to play. It doesn't mean you have to be out front doing one of these, but we participate and get more people. That's why we want to educate the youth, understand, they need to understand what's going on and have some responsibility to get involved. But it's also at the community level. Let's not be so dependent on them. We could grow gardens, gas prices are high. You can feed yourself with a garden, right? We can teach people those things, but we have to be unified like no other now, right?
That's right.
Everybody needs to be unified for one common cause, and that is, we want our country back.
Yeah.
I don't know which one was first.
To her point, many of us have been to lots of different, and we're part of many different groups. Can you remind us again who you are, where you are? I looked on your website, I don't see anything about individuals, which I totally understand. And who you are affiliated with, because there are lots of separate movements right now. And you just said we need to work together.
Yeah, so with our group, the Voices Without Walls, we've been active for 4 weeks. We restarted the LSC filed it in Texas 4 weeks ago where my partner lives. Unfortunately, during this, it's been a chaotic time to get everything planned, so the website, we had planned better, but one of my colleague actually had to go to Argentina because her mom had got sick, and so she's been there for 2 weeks, so we were a little shorthanded, but